Time is the only resource you can't get back. Money lost can be earned again, but wasted time is gone forever. Listen, you can work a job, lose it, and find another one. You can start a business, lose everything, and rebuild. You can have a bad investment, take a hit, and bounce back. Money comes and goes, opportunities come and go, but time only goes one way. Once it's gone, you don't get a refund. You don't get a do-over. You don't get a reset button. When the clock moves forward, it's not coming back to meet you halfway. And here's the problem. Most people treat time like it's cheap, like they've got an endless supply of it stacked in some warehouse somewhere. You waste hours scrolling through your phone, gossiping, complaining, binge watching, doing things that don't push you an inch closer to your goals, and you think you've got forever. But the truth, you don't even know how much you have left. That's the part nobody wants to talk about. You don't have an expiration date written on your forehead, but make no mistake, your time is running out with every breath you take. You've got people out here acting like they're immortal, acting like there's always going to be a next week or next year to start. They say, I'll do it when the time is right, as if the perfect moment is going to knock on their door. No, the perfect moment is now. Every single second you wait is a second you can't get back. It's like pouring water into the sand. You can't scoop it back up once it's gone. Think about this. You can spend years chasing something you don't care about, and when you finally wake up, those years are gone. You can't go to the store and say, hey, I wasted 10 years of my life. Can I trade them in for 10 new ones? That's not how it works. You can rebuild your bank account. You can rebuild your reputation, but you cannot rebuild time. That's why people who understand this move differently. They don't waste hours on nonsense. They don't entertain drama. They don't live in the past. They know the value of every single moment, and they squeeze the life out of it. And if we're being real, the reason you keep wasting time is because you don't respect it. You don't feel the weight of it slipping away. Imagine if every day you woke up with 86,400 in your bank account, but at midnight, whatever you didn't spend would vanish. You'd be careful with every dollar. You'd make every one of them count. That's exactly how time works. You get 86,400 seconds every day, and whatever you don't use wisely is gone forever. But here's the truth that stings: the same hours you waste, someone else is using to change their life. While you're hitting snooze, they're working. While you're complaining, they're creating. While you're procrastinating, they're producing. And then you look at them years later and call them lucky, when the reality is they respected time more than you did. You think you're waiting for the right time to start. No, time is waiting for you to wake up and start moving. Every second you sit still is an opportunity you'll never see again. And the worst part, you won't realize how much of it you wasted until it's gone, until you're standing there wishing you could go back and do it differently, but you can't. You can't rewind the clock. You can't undo the seconds, the hours, the years you let slip away like they meant nothing. The question is, how much longer are you going to act like you've got forever? How much longer are you going to trade your time for nothing? Because whether you do something with it or not, that clock is still ticking. You're not out of time. You're out of focus. Most people aren't short on hours. They're short on priorities. People love to say, I don't have time. They wear it like a badge, like it's some kind of legitimate excuse for why they're not moving forward. But the truth is, you do have time. You have the same 24 hours that every single successful person on this planet has. The difference isn't the clock, it's what you choose to do with it. You're not out of time. You're out of focus. You've got your energy scattered in 100 directions, and you're wondering why you're not getting anywhere. Look at your day. Really look at it. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, how much of that time is going to things that actually matter? Be honest. You say you're too busy to chase your dream, but somehow you've got time to scroll through social media for hours. You say you can't make time for your goals, but you never miss an episode of your favorite show. You tell yourself you can't work out, but you can talk on the phone for an hour about nothing. You're not lacking hours, you're wasting them on things that don't serve you. When you don't have focus, everything feels urgent. Everything feels important. You start reacting to life instead of directing it. And before you know it, the entire day's gone and you can't even remember what you actually accomplished. That's because your mind is busy, but it's not productive. You're moving, but you're not making progress. That's the trap. Successful people aren't running around doing everything. They're locked in on the few things that actually matter. They know their priorities. They know where their energy belongs. And when you see them making huge strides, it's not because they've been given extra hours. It's because they're not leaking their energy into distraction. The problem with most people is they confuse activity with achievement. Just because you're doing something doesn't mean you're doing the right thing. You can be working all day, but if you're working on the wrong priorities, you're just spinning your wheels. That's why you feel tired all the time, but still feel stuck. You're putting in effort, but you're not putting it where it counts. Focus is like a magnifying glass. If you scatter sunlight all over, it warms a little bit, but doesn't change much. But if you concentrate that light on one spot, it can start a fire. That's what your life needs, fire. Not scattered warmth, not a little bit of effort in every direction. You need to lock it in on the thing that's going to move your life forward and give it everything you've got. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't focus on everything. You're gonna have to let some things go. You can't keep saying yes to everyone and everything and expect to have time for yourself. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to what actually matters. The reason you feel like you're running out of time is because you keep saying yes to things that don't align with your priorities. Your hours aren't disappearing, they're being stolen. Not by other people, but by your own inability to guard them. Distractions are thieves and they look harmless. A 5-minute scroll turns into 30. A quick conversation turns into an hour. An unnecessary meeting eats up half the day. And by the time you realize it, your most productive hours are gone. If you want to get your life back, you have to get your focus back. You have to know exactly what matters and block out everything else. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many hours you have. It's about how you use them. If you don't decide what's important, the world will decide for you. And trust me, the world does not have your priorities in mind. Excuses steal your minutes. Every excuse you tell yourself is a thief taking your time and your dreams. Excuses are the most expensive lies you'll ever tell yourself. They cost you time, they cost you progress, and they cost you the life you could have had. Every time you open your mouth or even your mind to justify why you didn't do what you said you would, you are literally handing over pieces of your life to nothingness. And here's the worst part, you don't even realize how much those minutes are worth until they're gone for good. Excuses feel safe. They let you off the hook. They protect your ego from the pain of failure. But they also protect you from success because success demands responsibility. It demands you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I didn't do it. Not because I couldn't, but because I didn't make it happen. Most people can't handle that level of honesty, so they reach for the easiest out an excuse. And the clock doesn't stop when you do it. While you're explaining to yourself why you couldn't start, why you couldn't follow through, why it's just not the right time, the minutes keep ticking away. You think you're buying yourself comfort, but what you're really doing is trading away the only resource you can't replace. An excuse is like a thief that doesn't even have to break in. You open the door, hand them your time, and tell them to take as much as they want. Think about the people who are where you want to be. They had the same opportunities to make excuses as you. They could have said they were too tired, too broke, too busy, too unprepared, but they didn't. They did the work anyway. And because they refused to give those thieves their minutes, they built something. The difference between you and them isn't talent or luck. It's how much time you let excuses steal from you. Excuses don't just take your minutes in the moment, they take your future minutes too. Every time you give into one, you train yourself to accept less from yourself. you lower the standard for what's acceptable. That means the next time it's even easier to make another excuse. Before you know it, it's a habit. You've built a life where giving yourself an out is the default, and your goals are nothing but a list of someday promises you never keep. And here's the thing about excuses. They're always dressed up to look reasonable. They sound logical. They sound true. That's why they're so dangerous. I'll start when I have more time. I'll do it when I feel ready. It's not my fault. Things are just hard right now. Those sentences sound harmless, but they are killers in disguise. They kill dreams. They kill discipline. And they kill the future you could have had. Every excuse you make is a minute you could have spent taking action. You think it's only a few minutes, but add them up. A few minutes a day, every day. For a year, that's hours of your life gone, hours that could have been invested in learning, building, improving, creating. And once those hours are gone, they're gone forever. You have to start treating excuses like enemies. They are not your friends. They are not protecting you. They are robbing you blind. And the longer you let them in, the harder it becomes to get them out. They're like thieves who take a little at a time until one day you wake up and realize they've taken almost everything. Your minutes are the currency of your life. Spend them on action, not on explanations. Because while you're talking about why you can't, somebody else is showing why they can. And in the end, it's not the excuse that's gonna matter. It's what you did with the time you had before it ran out. Discipline turns hours into results. It's not about how much time you have. It's about how well you use it. Everybody wants results, but most people don't want discipline. They want success without the grind, progress without the sacrifice, rewards without the routine. But here's the truth. Your hours mean nothing without discipline. You can have all the time in the world, but if you waste it, it's worthless. On the other hand, give a disciplined person just a few focused hours, and they can outproduce someone with all day to work. Discipline is the bridge between the time you have and the results you want. Without it, your hours just evaporate. You wake up, get moving, stay busy all day. But at the end of it, you've got nothing to show for it. That's because business and productivity are not the same thing. Discipline doesn't just fill your time. It directs it. It says, this is what matters, and this is what I'm gonna do no matter how I feel. And that's the key. Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. You can feel tired, bored, frustrated, or uninspired, and discipline will still get you to show up. Most people live their lives ruled by emotion. They work when they feel like it. They quit when it's uncomfortable. They slow down when it's not exciting anymore. That's why they stay stuck. Discipline is the opposite. It shows up every day and does the work, even when there's no spark, even when nobody's watching, even when the results aren't instant. It's easy to say you'll get it done when you've got more time. But if you're not disciplined now, more time won't help you. It'll just give you more hours to waste. Discipline isn't about having time. It's about creating results in the time you already have. A disciplined hour beats a distracted day every single time. Look at the top performers in any field: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. They all have the same 24 hours as you. The difference isn't the number of hours, it's how disciplined they are with them. They're not waiting for motivation to hit. They're not letting distractions pull them off course. They've built systems, routines, and habits that make discipline automatic. They don't wonder if they'll get the work done. They know they will, because discipline has made it non-negotiable. Here's the hard truth. Without discipline, your dreams are just wishes. You can talk about them all day, make vision boards, write out goals. But if you're not putting in consistent, focused work, it's all just decoration. Discipline is what takes a vague dream and turns it into a plan, then takes that plan and turns it into action. And action, repeated with discipline, turns into results. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Every day you stay consistent, you build momentum. Every small task completed, every hour spent with focus, every promise you keep to yourself, it all adds up. Over time, those disciplined hours stack on top of each other until you build something real, something solid, something you can point to and say, I made that happen. But here's the flip side. Undisciplined time also compounds. Every time you give in to distraction, procrastination, or laziness, you're building a different kind of momentum, one that pulls you further away from your goals. And it happens quietly. You don't notice it in a day or a week, but months later, you wonder why nothing has changed. That's the cost of a lack of discipline. Time that could have been transformed into results is gone, wasted forever. Your success isn't determined by how many hours you're given. It's determined by what you do with them. And if you want your hours to count, you need discipline, real, relentless discipline that doesn't bend to mood swings or excuses, because time doesn't turn into results on its own. You have to make it happen. Procrastination is the silent killer waiting for the right moment. Is how you waste years without noticing. Procrastination is dangerous because it doesn't feel dangerous. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, subtle, and patient. It convinces you that you're not avoiding the work. You're just waiting for the right time. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, next week, next month. You convince yourself that you're being smart, that you're preparing, that you're making sure the timing is perfect. But deep down, you know the truth. You're stalling. And while you're stalling, time is moving. The trap with procrastination is that it feels harmless in the moment. You delay one task, one decision, one opportunity, and you think it's fine, I'll get to it later. But those laters pile up. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you realize it, years have passed. And what do you have to show for it? Nothing but excuses about why you couldn't start yet. Procrastination sells you the illusion of control. It whispers in your ear, you're not quitting, you're just waiting. And you buy it because it makes you feel safe. It protects you from failure, from discomfort, from the hard truth that you might not get it perfect on the first try. But that's exactly how it kills, by keeping you comfortable while your dreams rot in the waiting room. Waiting for the right moment is a fantasy. There is no perfect time. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and reasons to delay. Life will never line up perfectly for you to take action. The people who move forward aren't the ones who had perfect conditions. They're the ones who acted despite the conditions. They understood that momentum creates clarity, and clarity creates better timing, not the other way around. The scariest thing about procrastination is that it steals time without you noticing. You don't feel the loss immediately. You don't see the damage right away. It's like a slow leak. You don't realize how much has drained until you look back and see everything you could have done but didn't. And by then, the time is gone forever. Think about how many dreams have died. Not because the person lacked talent, skill, or opportunity, but because they kept putting it off. They thought they had more time. They thought they could start later, and later never came. You can recover from mistakes. You can recover from failure, but you cannot recover from years of doing nothing. Procrastination also fools you into thinking you're making progress when you're not. You do busy work. You plan endlessly. You research to death. You prepare in circles without ever actually taking the first real step. You feel productive, but you're not moving forward. You're just decorating your comfort zone. Every day you procrastinate. You're sending a message to yourself. My dream isn't urgent. My goals can wait. And that message becomes a habit. You start living in delay mode, pushing everything meaningful to the back of the line while filling your days with distractions that give you nothing in return. If you want to break free from procrastination, you have to stop waiting for permission from life to start. There's no announcement, no green light, no perfect alignment that will make you feel completely ready. You have to be willing to start messy, start scared, start uncertain, but start. Because every time you take action, you weaken procrastination's hold on you. The truth is, time is passing whether you act or not. Every day you wait is a day you can't get back. You can keep telling yourself that the perfect moment is coming, or you can accept that the perfect moment is a myth. The only moment you have is the one you're in right now. And if you keep waiting, you're not just losing days, you're losing years. Your dream has a deadline. You can't keep pushing it to tomorrow and expect it to survive. Dreams are fragile. They don't just live forever while you figure out when you're ready to chase them. Every day you push them to tomorrow, they lose a little bit of life. The vision fades, the urgency fades, the belief fades, and eventually the dream you once thought about every day becomes a faint memory you only visit when you're feeling nostalgic. That's the brutal truth. Your dream has an expiration date, and if you keep treating it like it can wait, it will die. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow is a liar. It always promises you another chance, but it never delivers the same energy, the same excitement, the same fire you have right now. The more you delay, the harder it becomes to start. Momentum dies, motivation fades, and once you lose those, starting again feels like pushing a boulder uphill. That's why so many people never get moving again. They think they're just taking a break, but in reality, they're slowly burying their dream. A dream without actions, like a plant without water. You can have the most beautiful vision in the world, but if you don't feed it with consistent effort, it withers. You can't keep starving your dream and expect it to thrive. And here's the thing, life doesn't care about your dreams. The world will move on with or without you. If you don't make it happen, someone else will. If you don't take your shot, someone else will take theirs. And years later, you'll see them living the life you wanted and wonder why it's not you. People think dreams die because they're impossible. Most of the time, that's not true. Dreams die because people let time kill them. They get comfortable. They get distracted. They get scared. They start thinking they've got all the time in the world, so they stop moving with urgency. But the clock doesn't stop just because you're hesitating. Every day you wait, the window gets smaller. Opportunities close. Conditions change, and eventually you wake up and realize that what was possible 5 years ago isn't possible anymore. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you didn't. The most dangerous mindset you can have is thinking there's no rush. Thinking you can just put it off and come back to it later. You can't. Life doesn't hand out guarantees. You don't know what's coming tomorrow. You don't know if you'll have the same resources, the same health, the same opportunities, the same energy. All you have is right now. That's why people who make their dreams happen aren't the ones with perfect timing. They're the ones who stop waiting for it. Your dream isn't going to tap you on the shoulder one day and say, okay, now's the time. You have to decide that. You have to look at the clock and realize that every tick is a warning you're running out. Not because you're old, not because it's too late, but because you've already given too much time away. The more you delay, the heavier the regret will be. You've got to treat your dream like it's urgent, because it is. You have to work like you're on a deadline, because you are. The scary part is you don't know when that deadline is. You don't know when your last chance will be. And the truth is, you won't realize it's your last chance until it's already passed. By then, the only thing left will be the regret that you didn't move when you had the chance.